Strickland has a warning for every single Georgia driver. The car insurance policy you didn't take time to read may not cover you when you need it most. Jim says your entire bank account could be at stake.
That's right, Jovita. We'll reveal how bargain policies can lead to expensive consequences. Just ask the Cobb woman who got this letter. It's from an insurance lawyer demanding a fortune more than a year after the accident.
When I got the letter, I felt overwhelmed and really afraid and not sure what to do. Yeah, I cried and I really was upset.
Kristen Ramsey says this letter jolted her more than the accident that triggered it. On her way to work 13 months earlier, she looked down at a traffic light and rear-ended this Dodge Charger.
Obviously, I had contact with my insurance company, but then everything was settled. I signed an affidavit of no further insurance. They told me the case was settled.
Not quite. Records show the other driver claimed $50,000 in damage and injuries. Ramsey had a low coverage limit of only $30,000. The other driver's underinsured motorist policy paid out the rest. Then came the letter giving Ramsey 30 days to fork over the difference, $20,000.
How in the world am I going to pay $20,000? And these people are threatening to sue me if I don't pay $20,000.
A former insurance attorney says he's seeing it more often. Insurance companies coming after big money from accident victims who don't have big money to pay.
They get that shock in the mail one day and they hit the panic button. They don't know what to do.
Attorney Chris Simon believes there are too many drivers covered by too little insurance. They save money only until they cause a wreck.
And so they find themselves squarely in the gun sight, which is the difference between their $25,000 policy and the $50,000 in damage they caused. They're on the hook for $25,000 in damages, and they're going to get sued for it.
The process is called subrogation. Candace Boutwell specializes in it, getting drivers to pay up.
It has increased from maybe 5 uninsured motorist subrogation claims per month to about 50 uninsured motorist subrogation claims per month, and that's just my office.
Boutwell is not involved in Ramsey's case, but she says collecting something from drivers like her helps lower premiums for drivers that don't crash. Boutwell's advice, if you're insured on the cheap, increase your coverage. And if you do get a letter like Ramsey did, don't ignore it.
I don't want to send them into bankruptcy. I just want them to contribute something.
Ramsey asked the insurance company for a break and got one. They dropped the $20,000 demand down to only $1,000. That's still $1,000 more than she ever expected to pay. Most people have no clue this can happen to them.
Right.
Did you have any clue this could happen to you?
Absolutely not. I had no clue. And I had never even heard of this happening.
Along with keeping premiums down, subrogation attorney Candace Boutwell says coming after money from underinsured drivers sends a message to all drivers that carrying minimum coverage is a bad idea, especially in a traffic-plagued city like Atlanta.
So here's the real question, worth tens of thousands of dollars. How much coverage should, any person have?
Well, here's the deal. We are told that you ought to have an insurance audit with your insurance agent to make sure you're covered. Don't base it on your budget. Base it on your assets, something that an attorney can attack. You want to make sure those assets are covered. Clark Howard says that liability insurance, it kicks in when you cause the crash. Right. It's the most important coverage you can have, but it's the coverage that most people ignore the most.
And insurance companies, and if it goes all the way to court, they hate it when someone could afford more insurance and yet they don't buy it, correct?
Oh, I was told that if the woman that I interviewed in that story, if she was a doctor, they'd go after her.
The whole $50,000. Thank you.
Well, we've posted Jim's story along with the letter from the insurance company's law firm on our Channel 2 Action News Investigate section. That's on WSBTV.com. Just look for the tab on the top of the homepage.
Georgia parents now